Oh, there's no music.
No music at all. So,
That's all right. All
this
right.
episode, I think it's like episode 27 or something. That's hella
I think so.
episodes to start with. But anywho, we're gonna talk about DL Brothers. That means
DL
brothers
Brothers.
on the down low for those who are not in the
Yes. Taking it up the poop, but like, shh.
know.
No, I'm just kidding. So that was totally ignorant. I was really just kidding. I'm not trying to classify how you DL it. I was totally.
I know they might be putting it in the poop, like.
Yeah, putting it in, taking it out.
But I mean, the
Assisting,
moral of the story is,
Mm-hmm. It's all about discretion here, buddy.
right. So
You know what you do,
this,
but you don't want me to know what you do.
right. This
The
topic
question is
about,
that yes, is that cool? So go ahead, you can talk about it. I'm sorry.
this topic came up because apparently someone that we kind of know is considering putting someone under the bus who may very well be DL because he is also homophobic. So basically, this guy was supposedly like fucking around with him while he has a girlfriend or a fiance rather and a child, and is also homophobic to the public eye. So we thought
He was like acting like a Republican.
right, exactly. Except for he was fucking some gay guy. So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you feel about that? Microphone?
How do I feel about that? How do you feel about that? Actually, I'll tell you how I feel about that.
Okay.
First of all, I have no problem with people being gay. I'm not that it's an issue if I had a problem with it either way because it doesn't affect my life. I think it's really interesting when people are so anti-gay though. It becomes curious where you wonder like, why are you so invested in being anti-gay? So then those people, you kind of wonder like, are you that way? And you're like, it's some self-hate type shit.
Right.
But I mean, again, it's not necessarily a personal, type of situation. But I guess where people get affected is if you are a person in a relationship with that person and they're having those kind of personal struggles. And next thing you know, like this guy that in the situation we're talking about, he's like stepping out and like, sleeping with guys and giving head in this situation with no tongue to say that he's straight. That's a very important detail of the story.
Right.
Is he was having oral sex with the guy, but he was not using his tongue, and that was justification to say, if I don't use my tongue, then I'm straight, and that's it. That was his rule. That made him feel very comfortable. But regardless of all that, I mean, I just think that I don't know. I just think it's a very, very tricky thing. I think that the DL thing, I don't think it's as like pervasive or like so far spread as people seem to think that it is. But at the same time, those that are partaking, I think it's very foul to have a woman at home and be sleeping with men on the low. Like that's just so bogus.
I think it is too, but the thing about it is, when that whole topic came up with this guy that we kind of know, it was suggested that, like, if you know someone who is on the DL, you should tell their girlfriends so that, they're not putting themselves at risk. But it's like, to what extent does the woman have their own responsibility to protect themselves? Like, I don't really think that it's a situation where, the guy is totally to blame if, something is
No, I don't think so either. I mean, at the end of the day, if you choose to have sex with somebody, like, you need to take some personal responsibility for the sex that you're having. And if you're having sex with somebody, and I'm not trying to be all PSA about this shit, but, like, you need to know the status of your partner. Like, you need to know what you're doing. I mean, you need to make, an educated and responsible decision. Are you going to have unprotected sex with this person? And if you do, are you going to take the proper precautions? I mean, do you know what their status is? Do you guys regularly get tested? Or why aren't you using condoms? Like, I just don't get that. Like, when you think about, like, these pregnancy rates and, like, people with all these diseases and, like, they getting burnt and shit like that, catching this and that, and nobody knows who, they want to blame the other person, and I can't believe this happened to me. No, you can believe it. Like, what did you know about the person that you were sleeping with?
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess, it sounds very, very old school, but I think that there's a lot to be said about when people say the statement, like, if you have sex with somebody, you should really consider, like, whether this person is somebody that you would want to spend the rest of your life with, like, in any kind of capacity. Do you want, so those are things that one would have to consider. And even if, if there's any doubt in your mind, either you shouldn't do it, or if you do it, you should take definitely the maximum precautions that's possible in your situation,
Right. It's like, I don't understand how, a lot of people that I went to high school with, a lot of girls, they've got babies already, like 1 and 2 babies and shit. And I'm 21, so it's like I literally know a girl that has 2 kids already, and it's like, you know, the problem is not that you had the kids. The problem is that you've put yourself at risk for other things that many times. Like, a baby is a blessing in that situation. When you fucking some random nigga raw, all you get as a kid, you're lucky because you could have got fucking HIV. And it's like, I really fail to understand why people continue to put themselves at risk given the information that we have available. It's not, you know, the 60s where it's like, okay, let's fuck here and there and everywhere and there's no kind of risk. It's like, hell no, fuck that. Like, if you're not gonna protect yourself, I don't give a fuck if you're like, you can't play victim. You can't be like, oh, he was on the DL and he didn't tell me. Fuck that.
No.
Fuck
I
that.
think one thing that people are failing to recognize or realize also is that certainly as we get older, there are people that are younger than us who have seen HIV in some capacity like their entire lives, and to them it's not like, and certainly there are people that are older than us that have seen it as like a death sentence, that people were, you know, they were dying and it was just like this horrible diagnosis and they were just in hospice and, you know, they weathered their way and were completely like gone to nothing. But now you're seeing people like living with HIV, living with AIDS, and they're living like these prosperous lives, and like Magic Johnson is not like the only person in the world that's living, living life in this, let's say, normal, productive, healthy way. So I say all that to say that there are some people that may not necessarily see HIV as like a death sentence or as some horrible disease in that sense. So I think that tells you kind of how scary the things are in this generation. And I don't feel like we're putting enough of an effort in telling people like just how extreme these circumstances are and how horrible that it really is. Like, to just because you see somebody else being healthy or whatever, it doesn't mean that it's okay, you know, to have unprotected sex. Or it doesn't mean that you should be okay, you know, with going out there and sleeping with different people, whatever, at the same time. Like, just take care of yourself, take care of your body, and make sure that you're okay, and, you know, that's it. But, you know, that kind of goes back to what we were saying about the DL thing. So if you take care of yourself, you know, you never know. You know, there's a lot of people that might have slept with DL dudes and don't even know it. But those people are taking the proper precautions. They dodged the bullet, let's say, in some of those instances. And in some instances, let's also be fair, those guys may also be having protected sex, and they may not have diseases. I think that there's also an unfair, label or stigma with those men. We assume that they're all like these diseased, low down dirty dogs, which, I mean, they are low down dirty dogs if they've got girls and they're keeping it a secret. But I think that there's also people that may be DL. I guess my question is it the responsibility of someone to tell you what their sexual preferences are if you're in the dating phase, but you're not with them, per se? Should they tell you? Like, should a DL guy tell you that he's bisexual? Or that he has slept with men before?
Yes.
I think so, too.
And here's why I think so. Because there are a lot of women who just simply don't want to be with a man who's bisexual or DL, period. And that's their own discretion. I mean, there's men who don't want a bisexual woman. It's that simple. Like, a lot of people see it as competition. Like, if I'm a woman and he also likes men, how can I compete? You know, he's going to go want some dick. And but it's your call to make in the dating phase. It's not something that you should figure out way after the fact.
Right. Way after the fact. That's true. So, I don't know. I mean, I think on that note, we have our stances on that.
Public service announcement.
Public service announcement, cover up, or just don't fuck. That's what we're saying. Cover up or don't fuck.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's very succinct. It's to the point. It's letting y'all motherfuckers know. I mean, having these fucking babies and shit and these diseases, like, babies are blessings. We're all recognizing that children are blessings. Ain't nobody hating on no damn kids. I love kids. But certainly everybody is not prepared to be a mother or a father. So let's not get it twisted.
Right.
Some of these kids could have come much later in life or be born to different parents. I'm just saying.
Okay, bye.
I'm just saying. Okay, bye.